Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's MPO Policy Committee meeting. Today's dates is May 17, 2023 at 1, approximate time is 1:34. We're going to hear at the City of Laredo Council Chambers, 1110 Houston Street. We're going to go ahead and get the meeting started. We're going to go ahead and call meeting to order, and if we could just get the chairperson to call roll, please.
Thank you, Judge Tijerina. Ms. Briones will help us with the roll call.
Good afternoon. Mayor Dr. Victor Trevino. Judge Tano Tijerina.
Present.
Councilmember Melissa Cigarroa.
Present.
Councilmember Ruben Gutierrez.
Present.
Commissioner Jesse Gonzalez.
Present.
Commissioner John Galen.
Present.
Councilmember Vanessa Perez.
Present.
Mr. Epigmenio Epi Gonzalez.
Present.
Mr. Jed Brown.
Present.
Judge, you do have a quorum.
Beautiful. Pretty much everybody's here.
Do we need a motion to excuse?
I don't-
No, we don't do that here, right? Okay.
I don't think we need a motion to excuse them, do we?
You've done that. It's been customary for this committee to do that.
Second.
Motion second, any opposed? Motion carries very well. Thank you. Let's go ahead and move on. Item number 3, citizens' comments, and I believe we have 3 at this point in time. We'll go ahead and start with Ms. Mirna G. Montemayor. I believe that you're allocated 3 minutes, ma'am. If you'd like for me to read it, it cannot be by proxy or anything like that. It'd have to be your 3 minutes, so. No worries.
Good afternoon. My name is Mirna Montemayor, and I am on the board of the La Bota Ranch Owners Association. I've lived in La Bota since 1999. One of the concerns that we have is obviously the traffic on Mines Road. There's not a lot of...
The red one.
The what?
The red dot.
The red dot?
Yeah, just right in the middle, yeah, I don't think you have to.
Okay, sorry about that. So one of the concerns that we have in La Bota is that we really don't have a lot of access in and out to Mines Road. We only have one entrance and one exit, which gives us pause when there's issues with the warehouses. For example, if there's ever a leak or some sort of hazardous chemical and we would need to exit, it's very hard to get out of there. Usually Mines Road is backed up because of the tractor trailer traffic that is going towards World Trade Bridge. Every evening there's a lot of traffic on Mines Road. I know that Councilman Perez has been trying to get that moving in a different direction so that Mines Road doesn't get backed up. But we are asking the council and the commissioner's court to look at different ways to move the traffic on Mines Road, whether there's maybe a river road that can connect La Bota and other homes without having to face the tractor trailer traffic, so that the homeowners and regular people that are not in tractor trailers can move more quickly through the Mines Road area, either around it or try to avoid that traffic, or different exits so that the tractor trailers can access I-35 or the loop without having to block all of Mines Road. And so we are asking the Commissioners Court and City Council to work on different avenues to alleviate the traffic on Mines Road. Because there are a lot of homeowners on Mines Road. There's, Villa San Agustin, there's the Green Ranch, and of course La Bota. And so there's a lot of communities where people enjoy living, but we would like better access or better traffic control on the Mines Road area and better access to get in and out of Mines Road without having to face 30 minutes to 45 minutes stuck in traffic. And of course there's always an issue, God forbid there should be some emergency where you need the ambulance or medical services to come in. That's also an issue to get in and out of those areas. I know that there's one, I can't remember the name of it, it's completely blocked off. There's no way in and out. You have to kind of go around. There's another subdivision, not ours. I can't remember the name of it. And so it's not just La Bota that has the issue. It's pretty much every housing community on Mines Road has issues with traffic. And so we are asking for some consideration and try to work with some ways to get a better flow through Mines Road area. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate you. Next, we have Mr. Orlando Navarro.
Thank you. For the record, Orlando Navarro. I just wanted to come up here and speak a little bit of Your executive session item that you're bringing up, and this is for your director. You know, we've had a very good relationship. We're working very well together. The communication is there. He's taken the lead on bringing all the TxDOT team with the county team to have meetings. Our communication is doing a lot better. I'm very proud to be working with Mr. Mendive. You know, and apart from that, because he won't say it, but he's a Nixon grad. He actually played football. I'll let you ask the question, his football career. Graduated from TAMU, local university, went on to Ohio State to get his planning degree. He is AICP certified, and he's doing a great job for us. It's local talent. I'm learning a lot from him. He's showing me what it is to be a planner, because as you all know, my background is not planning, it's development, but he's doing a wonderful job of explaining the concepts and what we do for Laredo. So he's part of the team. I hope the directorship is recognized, because it is a very important position when it comes to City of Laredo. This MPO is very important to us. And I just wanted to let you all know that, so that maybe there's a little bit more generosity when you all are talking about Mr. Mendive. Thank you very much.
I see that big smile on your face there, guy. You need to stop that. You need to stop that. All right. James Arthur, please.
Let him be happy, Judge.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
My name is James Arthur, and I am a HOA manager for La Bota, for Villa San Agustin, and also for Green Ranch Escondido. And I'm here to talk to you today about access and the River Road project. I'm not talking in regards to, there's some questions about the Border Patrol and access there, but just in general, all those communities are needing help and relief from the industrial traffic that is on Mines Road. And the possibility of having a road at the River Road at the back that would allow access for VSA, for La Bota, and also indirectly with Green Ranch area, that would really bring a lot of relief to those communities. And just like Mirna had mentioned to you, Mrs. Montemayor, that there's a emergency situation there with the fact that of the challenge, if we do have an emergency, if someone needs to get in there for EMS, for fire, for any type of emergency, we just have one entrance and exit. And that was what was planned from the beginning, but the reality is, you know, we've got these residential communities in the middle of these industrial areas. So how do we balance that? So we're trying to express our concern as residents and that are living in an industrial area, that if we could have more roads, more accesses to the communities, this would help the homeowners, and that those roads would be residential only when it's appropriate. So I know that you are working on that, and you've got several projects that would possibly bring relief to those communities, and we'd really like for you to continue your efforts of developing roads and accesses to the communities, and that's what I came to share with you today on behalf of those homeowners and the communities, and thank you for your efforts. And that's all I really had to say today. So that's my last statement.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate being here.
Thank you so
I want to say thank you, Mr. Arthur, but I have to say thank you, Big Al. Appreciate
Okay,
you.
that's my nickname. So, yeah. All right. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you very much. All right, let's move on. Item number 4, items requiring policy committee action. Let's go to 4A, approval of minutes for the meeting held on March 22nd, 2023.
Second.
A motion, I have a second. Any other questions or comments? Any opposed? Motion carries. Very well. Item B, receive public testimony and initiate a 10-day public review and comment period for the following proposed amendments of the MPO bylaws. Mr. Mendive?
Yes, thank you, Judge. I know you first want to ask if anyone is here to speak for or against. because we are receiving public testimony, and then I can give a very brief
Well,
presentation.
we need to make,
Yeah, we need to.
open the public testimony, so.
That's right, that's
I'll
correct.
move to do that.
Very much. I have a motion second to open up the public testimony for the initiate for the 10 days. Any other questions, comments? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. What did we need to do? I'm sorry?
Just ask if anyone's here to speak for or against.
Anybody here? But you're going to open it up for 10 days. Don't we do that when we're closing?
We do it also for this item as well, just if they want to speak about it, and then when we come back.
Okay. Anybody here for or against? Anybody here for or against 10-day public review comment period for the following amendments by the bylaws? And one last time, are you here for or against?
Somebody for? Is somebody here in the back?
I think we're good.
I'm just gonna be brief. Hello, everyone. Thank you. So I'm just gonna go over the bylaw changes that are being proposed. I know they've been discussed at the previous meeting. In accordance with our public participation plan, we require a 10-day public review and comment period to revise these bylaws. So we are doing that here today, opening that comment period. Again, we're amending Article 2, Section 2.1 and 2.2 to allow the chairperson and vice chairperson to rotate every 2 years between the City of Laredo Mayor and Webb County Judge. Right now, I'll show you the bylaw document that's also in your packet, just so you can see the actual language on that. And then while we were doing the review, we also found that we need to make some changes to our technical committee membership, and I'll discuss that right now too. So it's amend Article 2, Section 2.3 to update the technical committee membership. Lastly, staff and the technical committee recommend initiating the 10-day public review
I hadn't done with you.
and comment period.
Well, that's-
So I'm going to show you the.
Juan, can you just briefly, maybe in a little bit more layman's terms, tell us where we were at? Because I thought this was kind of already passed, but then maybe just for the public and for, some of our other,
Like 4 months ago.
yeah, some of the other members maybe also kind of are a little lost in this.
Right, so-
So just let us know exactly what are we doing right now?
Okay, so we're initiating the 10-day comment period to make the changes to the bylaws based on the language that was recommended at the last meeting. So it's already
So we
reflected.
approve the language then?
The language has been approved, we're moving forward. As I had presented at the last meeting, the timeline, we're opening the 10-day comment period here in May, and then in June, we'll make the final changes to the bylaws.
I thought we had approved this like 4 months ago, the language.
No, the language, it was approved in March, and we didn't have a meeting in April. So that was approved in March. So I remember when we did discuss this, probably about 3 months ago in February.
When it was approved, none of the new board members were here. Jet wasn't on
No,
board.
started the discussion,
I think it was here.
yeah, we started this discussion when the current chair Trevino was here.
It started in January.
I think you missed.
You were at that meeting?
Yes, sir.
We started that meeting in January. We started that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know there were some
But I mean, I
questions.
know we hadn't done
I was
the
directed
10-day
to come
public
back with
review.
some language. I came back with that language. There was a motion that was made to allow the judge to start after we finalize the actual amendments, right? So right now, we're going through the process that we need to go through to make those changes.
All right.
I'm going to show you just what we're doing here on the bylaws. So as you see, we're striking out where it says that the City of Laredo Mayor is the chairperson, that membership list. And then also where it says county judge is the vice chairperson, we're just striking out that part. We're making some corrections to just the lettering. And then this is the language that we've added. So the chairperson and vice chairperson shall rotate every 2 years between the City of Laredo Mayor and Webb County Judge. The term of each office shall begin the 1st of January in odd number years. There is no limitation to the number of terms each member may serve as an officer. So this is what we're going back and forth about. Is it going to be 1 year? Is it going to be 2 year? So we said, it's going to be 2 years. We'll keep it as is, the 1st of January in odd number years. But there was a motion by the committee to allow the judge to start serving as the chair after, we finalize the changes. And we're striking out where it says that the mayor.
So he'll only be serving a year and a half?
Yeah, also I think I agreed to at the last committee meeting, they understood that.
Right.
And then again, the mayor would serve starting in 2025, and then after he serves 2 years, the judge at that time would serve again another 2 years. So,
That
again,
was your question, but if there's no chair or vice chair present?
Oh, prior to the meeting,
Yeah.
prior to the meeting, if I understand things correctly, 4 constitutes a quorum of the MPO, and I always wondered if the judge and the mayor didn't show up, Who would actually conduct the meeting?
We choose.
It would be decided at the beginning of the meeting who would chair the meeting that day.
Well, the
That's
way
in
it
bylaw.
usually goes, and I know with the previous mayor, he would call me up and let me know if he needed me to chair the meeting. Obviously, today I didn't get that.
No, but we're saying if you and the mayor are both missing.
Oh,
So it's usually just a ranking member, no?
Yeah, well, as per the bylaws, it says that the committee, the quorum person would decide who would chair the meetings. That's what our bylaws currently state.
very well. Does it state that? Yeah, you said it states that.
It does state that. I can tell you where it's at if you'd like me to.
That's okay, as long as it states that.
I see it. I see it.
You see it? So yeah, we're just, the responsibilities of the chairperson and the vice chairperson are staying the same. We're just striking out those places where it specifically says that either the mayor, the judge, or the chair, or the vice chair. So those are the changes for the chairship. What we're changing on the technical committee, we're just cleaning up a little bit of the membership in terms of, the titles. So the South Texas Development Council, they used to have a regional planning director. They no longer have that position, so they've advised us that we could please have the executive director serve as a representative. So we're making that change. And then we're also adding a seat for the RMA, the Webb County City of Laredo Regional Mobility Authority representative. We just feel it's right since they serve for also regional representatives. So we just feel like it's the right time to do that.
Sure. Judge, may I add to that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, the RMA has attended, I believe, every technical committee meeting since I've been the chair in November 2019. And we've just never, it's been kind of in an unofficial capacity, but I think we generally lend a decent amount to the meeting and participate in dialogue and have a good familiarity with the projects of the MPO, the city and the county. So we try and thought it'd be nice to have our name added to actually be there as stuff.
Makes sense.
Yep, and the last thing was just cleaning up the Laredo Community College representative name, just to reflect the new name, right, Laredo College. So we did a review of the entire bylaws just to make any changes that were necessary. But other than that, those were the only changes. Again, today we're opening the 10-day comment period, and we'll come back for the final one in June, or if we have a special meeting before that, as well after the 10-day comment period.
So will I be chairing it or not until July?
The way I would see it, we would finalize the bylaws at that meeting. So then after that action happens, then you'd become the chair after that meeting, but you would chair the July meeting. So we can make it effective after that meeting, but then the next meeting would be July, or we have a special meeting after that meeting. Then you'd be able to take over the chair position at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I think that was the motion last time. I know y'all had mentioned right after the 10-day comment period, but we need to go through the changes and they need to be finalized.
What do you need from us up here?
You made the motion to open the 10-day comment period. I wanted to present this for the public.
Can I get somebody to move a motion, please?
We already have that.
Oh, we already have that. We already opened it
I
up.
wanted to mention it.
Do
We'll
we
come back.
we don't close it though?
No.
We leave it open.
We'll just show it on the website and anybody can provide public comment. In June, we'll come back and we'll present, any comments that were provided.
Very well.
And we'll make the final changes.
Any questions or comments from my colleagues? Very well. I think that's it, Noah.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to the item C, if I'm not mistaken, discussion with possible action on a motion to approve the fourth version of the Laredo Transit Management, Inc., LTMI, Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan, PTASP, and safety performance targets for calendar year 2023 and to incorporate into the Metropolitan planning process.
Thank you, Judge. This comes before you every year. It's a federal requirement that FDA has required of transit agencies to provide the safety plan. It's already been adopted by the Mass Transit Board on April 17, 2023. The MPO's role here is that we need to incorporate it into our planning process. That's why it's being presented here before you today.
So moved then.
Second.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Let's move on to
Thank
D. Thank you, Juan. Discussion with possible action on the HR Ruthinger Road project. Mr. Chavez.
Good afternoon, Judge and members of the Commission. Roman Chavez, City Engineer. As far as concerned to City of Laredo, we are currently working on the utility relocation plan, and there's a schematic that's already been submitted to TxDOT along with the potholing plan, and that's on schedule. As far as the property acquisition, our real estate division continues to work with all the property owners. We've received 1 or 2 appraisals already. The rest of the appraisals we're expected to receive by Friday. From there, it's a 2-week period for a third party to review the appraisals before we begin closing out on these properties. So at this point, I can report that I don't foresee anything that I need to report that would cause a delay on this project, at least as of now. And we've been in constant coordination with TxDOT. Our utility consultant has been in constant communication with their consultant as far as the project is concerned.
One question. So, we were having some issues, I believe, with the changing of the alignment and causing some issue for one of the property owners. Has that issue been resolved?
Yes, it has.
So we're moving forward and there's not gonna be any delays in the timeline or anything?
To this point, I don't have anything to report that we foresee will cause a delay.
And I think, is your department gonna be staffed enough to be able to continue with this? Like, I know there's maybe some issues with anything like that, gonna affect the project?
Well, at this point, we're managing with the resources and the staff that we have to continue to move forward with this.
Thank you.
Mr. Chavez, okay. So, if my understanding is you're gonna get all the appraisals, and after the appraisals, you have to wait 2 weeks, right?
Well, it's a 2-week third-party review period that needs to take place. It's part of the process and part of the TxDOT requirement.
And is this, do they have to sign off? Do you have to send them a letter that's saying that we're we're offering to buy it or something?
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
And they're gonna supposedly donating it?
That's after this.
Now, is it all coming
This
from
review.
Green Ranch, or what's it called, Green Valley, or what's it called?
Verde Corporation?
Verde, I knew it was Green.
Different language.
Different language. My brain doesn't work that
It's
way.
green.
It all gets translated up there somehow.
That was good.
Judge, may I?
Yes, please.
When is the timeline that you have for the acquisition to be finalized, where we would have already finalized the right-of-way acquisition?
Again,
And the utilities.
we have a table that we're following. Like I said, the next step after Fridays that we receive the appraisals when they're due, there's a 2-week period for the third-party review. After that, the offer letters. I don't have an exact date. Again, we're working as we go as part of the process, and we're following all the TxDOT requirements.
But, okay, you didn't answer the second part of my question.
Yes.
Hold on.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, go ahead. You can finish your thought.
Could you finish, would we be able to finalize it during
Let
this
me
fiscal
prepare,
year?
yes.
During this calendar year?
Let me prepare something for you and provide it as part of your package for the next meeting, so that it's a little bit more detailed. But again, right now, we're moving as fast as we can. We have a timeline that we're working with, and we're staying on schedule with TxDOT, again, to make sure there's no delays on this.
Well, because TxDOT has us breaking ground possibly around April, or breaking ground in April. And I know that if we can get our end of it done faster, then we could move that date up, right? So, kind of anxious for that, so.
So, Judge, Matt,
Yes, please.
so just a comment, right? Right now, the project is set up for an April letting. We're always looking at opportunities to accelerate the project. And as a matter of fact, a week from tomorrow, our Transportation Commission is going to be passing the minute order to bring a char within your own system.
Oh, good.
So that's going to, again, that's moving the project further along, so.
So, Mr. Chavez, my question was, so is it all the appraisals going to Verde Corp, or who are they? Or are there multiple parties?
We have 5 different property owners that we're working with.
Yeah.
5 different ones.
So, and then how long do we have to wait from them, once you send the offer letter?
I guess that will be, again, we've been in constant communication with them, right?
Yeah.
And so all of them are willing to work with us.
Okay.
Not until we send those offer letters, and maybe I'll be able to.
Okay,
But
You
they're all,
you are in communication, very good.
we're in communication. Well,
Thank you, appreciate it.
Any other questions, comments? Very well. I guess we move on.
So we have Anna Duncan, our project manager. She can give us a quick update on our end.
Anna Duncan for TxDOT. Just wanted to update you that the plan development and everything is already ongoing. We have our 60% set of plans coming to us at the end of June, so that's right on schedule for us. We have our environmental process that's moving forward. We have a virtual public hearing that we'll be having on June 15th with an opportunity for in-person if anyone wishes to have that. That one is very scripted, so it's just, formal presentation that comes on, and we have the Barbara Faskin Rec Center, we'll be having it in the evening. Last thing, our environmental clearance with that date would be the end of August, early September, because of the comment periods, and similar fashion to how we do our MPOs, there is some timelines that we have to follow. So that's the target date that we have for environmental clearance.
Very good. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just,
Item
I do want
E.
to, before we go on, I do want to add, I think Mayor Pro Tem Perez might be asking about the meeting for the minute orders going to be presented for the HR item. So I know this morning I was still seeing looking at the Texas Transportation Commission, the agenda hadn't been posted. I know I was asking Mr. Gonzalez about that. I think you confirmed that it is going to be on the next meeting.
Correct. For a char roof engineer to bring on system, it's going to be this month, which is a week from tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, and I had been tracking the agenda. The agenda hadn't been posted yet, but I think it might be already on there.
Are we sending someone?
So, yeah, you can have that conversation if.
Are we sending anybody? That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, we could send someone. I know you mentioned that it's just pretty much almost consent agenda type item. I know in my director's report, I was going to mention that in June, there's going to be a meeting to discuss the UTP where the funding gets discussed. So I know we're trying to target going up for that meeting, but I mean, we could also go up for the main meeting as well next Thursday. There's no issue with that. We just have to coordinate
Might want to go just to make sure.
and just coordinate.
Consultant too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can coordinate off record at the time.
I think we had some of the directors saying that they were gonna go, so we can coordinate with somebody from the city. I don't know, anyone from the county or our main.
The county will probably send our representative, our consultant, Anthony Garza,
Okay.
and that's okay.
Great, and then we'll also target the June meeting.
And what day is it in June?
The June one is the 29th. I do want to confirm to make sure that the UTP draft will be presented at that meeting and not a special meeting, but I believe it's going to be on that regular meeting.
I believe so, but we can certainly confirm that for you.
Yeah, that would be June 29th. Well, and I did post in my director's report a link to the agendas and all that. You can see that. They always post the agenda 8 days before, so today is the eighth day before that. This morning, I was checking all morning several times and it still wasn't on there, but it might be there this afternoon.
Very good. Any other questions? Okay, let's move on. This item, I'm the one that asked it to be on here. Discussion with possible action for the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol Protection proposed road along the Rio Grande as it relates to the River Road project and other future mobility projects in this region. Obviously, you figured or found out this would happen on Monday's city council meeting. I'm not sure it's the same thing that we're talking about here. I don't think it's the same. I think this is just the River Road project that's always been here. And they're just asking, I thought, for a while, I thought it was talking about the same, but no, this is completely very, very different. This is already there, and it's just a matter of how we could make it work. And so I don't know if you all want to table this for Customs and Border Patrol maybe to come back to us and talk to us, because all they're looking for is for help to be able to patrol a little bit better. They reached out to me, and that's basically the road that's already there. I told them, well, I mean, what better?
Goes under the railroad bridge, or which one?
The one that's already existing, right? That's the one alongside the river. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess the one under the
It's
bridge.
an existing private road. I don't know if
Judge,
Councilmember
Yes.
Silva might have more details about that.
the Roads and Bridges project that came before council yesterday, or on Monday, was to make improvements to the existing road that exists from below Father Magnabo all the way down to Chacon, past
Okay.
Chacon Creek.
Okay,
And it's an existing road. It's not intended for any access other than pedestrian and cycling. So
Okay.
it wouldn't be any motorized vehicles. It would just be Border Patrol that would be allowed to have motorized vehicles on that road. I believe it's separate from the River Road, which if I understand correctly is in District 7 primarily.
Yeah, I've kind of gotten a little confused, and maybe others are as confused as I am, because I think what you all were talking about is a little different on Monday than what it is this currently, right?
Perhaps they're looking for access to the future River Road in District 7.
Because we just had some public members talk about this particular road as well, because that way it could maybe help them alleviate some of the traffic congestion that's going on Mines Road.
Yes.
Councilwoman?
Well, the way that I kind of see that this may be related is that when we started talking about this River Road back in 2015, 2014, around there, we had included Border Patrol because we talked about maybe using some of that border security funding to help build this, like, this is a different type of road than the one we were talking about this week, but it's still kind of related in the sense that this is all undeveloped brushland, and it would help Border Patrol with their mobility as well. But this one, in the River Road that we're talking about, constructing through the RMA study, would actually be for vehicular traffic and not just patrolling. But it would kind of serve both purposes if Border Patrol could use it. So when we were talking about this back then, we were talking about putting it as close to the river as possible to kind of address some of these line of sight issues that they have. I don't know what the alignment looks like right now because I don't think the RMA is ready to present it yet, but Congressman Cuellar came to a town hall. Mr. Brown was there and a lot of us were there. And he did say that if this was a project that we were committed to, that he would help with funding on it. And so I don't know what pockets of funding he'd be able to get, but I think that if we were to kind of use it as having mobility along the riverbank, it might open him up for other pockets of funding. So I could see how it might be related in that sense. But the one that we were talking about this week was more like just for Border Patrol access for patrolling. But the River Road in District 7 that we're talking about might have some similar purposes in that area as far as.
So will this benefit anything?
Oh, yeah.
This particular road, yes.
Of course.
They're two different.
That's what I thought.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, and MPO, we can take, I mean, we were the ones that kicked it back up for the study here through MPO for the River Road, and RMA's doing it. And then I hope that we can talk about getting it actually funded and done in future meetings.
Okay.
Judge?
Yes, please.
There are definitely two different roadways. The one that we've been reading about this week in the newspaper with City Council in the City of Laredo, approximately 16 miles starting at Father McNamara Park. I've heard it goes down as far as Santa Rita, but, and that parallels, I mean, that's right along the river's edge. The similarity is the name. For our purposes, the River Road corridor study that we just performed and completed and should be presented next month in June to the MPO actually starts north of the World Trade Bridge. Coincidentally, it's about the same length, 15 or 16 miles. 6 different alignments were studied, and that there's 2 highest scoring recommended alignments that'll come back in and be presented to the MPO, but they don't fall along the river's edge necessarily. There's places it gets close, but it's for a little bit further in, the recommended alignments. And that's a paved, dedicated public right-of-way road versus a road that may be dirt, caliche, stuff of that nature closer to the river's edge. So they're similar in name and distance, but they're 2 different projects.
Okay. Well, I do know that the Customs or the Border Patrol were trying to be here today, but they couldn't make it. So I guess we just tabled it for the future?
Second.
Okay, very good. Motion second. Any opposed? It's tabled. Very good. Let's move on. Reports and presentations, and no action required. Let's go ahead and start with the status report by the RMA. Mr. Jebra.
Yes, sir. In your packet, you'll find descriptions of 10 projects that have been active. The good news is approximately 5 of them are wrapping up. So that allows us to really focus on a little bit narrower scope, but they're big projects. It would be Vallecillo, Safe Streets for All, the Concord extension, and a portion of Springfield. Those would be kind of our focus going forward. And They're all really important for our community. We're going to be working on those real hard now and in the upcoming months. So if there's questions on any specific project of the 10, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, that's our report.
Any questions, comments? All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Permit. Let's go to director's comments.
All right, thank you, Judge. First off, I do want to welcome our newest MPO team member, Mr. Eduardo Bernard, Planner 3. He's bringing over 23 years of experience out of Metro. He worked for Metro for 23 years in planning, operations, project management, public relations, and grant writing. And he served as a representative of Metro on the MPO Technical Committee for many years. We were trying to pin down exactly when he started. We found some documents from 2008 where he had already been serving on the MPO Technical Committee. But it's mostly his entire time at Metro. He's actually been involved with the MPO one way or another. So we're glad to have him join our team, and we're looking forward to his contributions. I did have the report about the next Transportation Commission meeting. It's going to be on May 25th, 2023. So right now, I was checking to see if the agendas are yet. It still hasn't been posted, but yes, go ahead.
When did you say it was going to be?
May 25th, so that's next Thursday. Yes. The draft list of projects for the 2024 Unified Transportation Program, the UTP, is expected to be presented at a Texas Transportation Commission meeting in June, and we'll continue to monitor the agendas and meetings. If there's anything pertinent to the MPO or the Laredo-Webb County area, I've also added the link to the agendas and all that, where if you want to also keep track of those, and they're also live streamed, so you could also watch them if you're not able to attend. The TxDOT Board of Trade Advisory Committee meeting was held in Laredo on April 20th, 2023. I know several of you were there in attendance. The MPO staff was there. We know we had technical policy members there. Basically, the Board of Trade Advisory Committee provides a forum for the exchange of communications between the Texas Transportation Commission, TxDOT, the governor, and committee members representing Board of Trade interests. The next meeting is scheduled in the Rio Grande Valley on August 22nd, 2023. We are planning to attend some staff members. I know people from the city. Also, there's other members that are interested in attending. Please do let us know, and we can make arrangements for that. Also, on May 2nd, 2023, our staff met with our FHWA representative, Mr. Kurt Favre, during an informal visit. So he was actually in the Eagle Pass. His Eagle Pass is actually going to have an MPO now, because they've surpassed the 50,000 threshold. So now they are mandated to have an MPO. I was in attendance in a virtual meeting where they were talking about that with the TxDOT district and FHWA, FTA, about starting that MPO. I did invite the people from Eagle Pass to come down and visit us in Laredo so we can show them how the MPO works. But Mr. Favre reached out and he wanted to visit us after his stay in Eagle Pass, so he came down. We met with him, and Ms. Garza was also there. We just went over projects, activities that are ongoing. Also, I know some of you were at our Bike Month proclamation. So right now, May is National Bike Month, and the City of Laredo, the MPO Active Transportation Committee, we held a proclamation ceremony on May 3rd, and we proclaimed May as National Bike Month in Laredo. Again, this is aligned with the MPO's mission and the efforts of our Active Transportation Committee. So we continue to advocate for safe, accessible, and alternate modes of transportation. And then lastly, just the upcoming regularly scheduled meetings. Our next Active Transportation Committee is May 31st, 2023. That's a virtual meeting. Our Technical Committee will be June 13th, and then our Policy Committee for next month, June 21st, here at Council Chambers. Are there any questions on the report?
Questions, comments? None at this time?
I do, Judge.
Yes?
Do you have this in do you have a flyer on all these that you just talked about? Do you have something for us?
On the dates?
The report or the?
Just like everything you've said about all the different meetings and dates, do you have a flyer?
Yeah, well, it's in the packet as a director's report, and there's a link on there.
Oh, what page is it? 116. Okay, thank you.
You got it? Yeah.
You got it.
It's on
Thank
there.
you.
And as I've been doing, I'll email you all as a committee also when there's something that I know that's upcoming, the way I had emailed you all about that BTAC meeting that happened last month.
Very good. All of that said, let's move on. Executive session. The Policy Committee reserves the right to adjourn into executive session at any time during the course of this meeting to discuss any posted agenda item, blah, blah, blah. Request for executive session regarding personal matters pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 55(1.074) to establish the annual salary amount for the full-time MPO director return to open session for possible action in any of the matters incident thereto. So you're wanting to go into executive session, sir?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Moving into executive session, the approximate time is 2. Motion second. Any opposed? Motion carried. Approximate time is 2:15. Back from executive session. The approximate time is 2:35. There was no action taken. There was no action taken in the back. And once again, for the last time, there was no action taken in the back. There was a tough crowd in the back. Mrs. Councilmember Vanessa Perez's kids were back there, and I will tell you that they voted, and it was not in your favor. Let me just put it to you that way, okay? But with that said, if I could have somebody entertain the idea, please, or let Mr. Juan Mendive what we decided to do, or what has discussed.
I'd like to make a motion to move forward with your request.
Second.
Second.
A motion, I have a second, and that's why I said it was good news and bad news. The good news is that this body seems like it's voting for what you're wanting for. Any other questions, comments, any opposed? Motion carries. So do we need to go ahead and publicly say what you're gonna be making? That way you can go ahead and,
Yeah, you can put that on the
for
record.
the record,
and then
it'd
we'll
be
do the memo that was discussed.
115,000 a yearly salary.
And that starts when?
Today, tomorrow?
Make it effective.
Well, why don't you make it the next pay period?
When does the next period? Next Friday, 2 Fridays from now? When
We're
is
getting
it?
paid this Friday, so 2 Fridays from now.
So when does it
So
pay,
it closes next week.
when does it close? It closes today or tomorrow, no?
No, the pay period just closed this past Sunday, so.
Judge,
Up to the 20th.
I think we should just make his salary effective tomorrow.
And let,
Then you have a
let
split
accounting-
salary.
Let
Wait,
accounting handle it, if they can.
say that again, sir? The accounting, that's the way you want it to work?
They'll
Would that be a motion that y'all want to put it on? I think it's important that we do this as a motion.
I'll make a motion for him to start getting his salary as determined, starting tomorrow.
Second.
I have a motion, second, okay? Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of accounting, but that's their deal, I guess. Any other questions, comments? Any opposed? Motion carries, effective tomorrow. Congratulations.
Thank you. I want to thank the committee and the team as well. So I think we're doing a great job. I want to continue working with everyone. I appreciate all the support. Thank you.
Very good. Yes, yes, ma'am, please.
Mr. Mendive, do you need a formal letter from this group to send to city? Is
Yes,
some
in
other-
form of a memo, they had asked that the chair provide that. I know the chair's not here today. So I think maybe it could be Vice Chair Tijerina and Mayor Pro Tem Vanessa Perez. Maybe you could sign off on that and
Yes.
move forward with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? All right, motion to,
But if I,
yes, please.
I wanted to ask, Epi, on 35, on the new bridge that's going there just by Shiloh, and on the southbound side, I don't know, there seems to be like some waves in that concrete, and you see these trucks, they start rocking them over, so if you're on the inside lane, it starts pushing you out. Can that be repaired, or is that just?
So that, we've certainly noticed that, and we've gotten with the contractor. Right now, since we have traffic occupying that portion of the bridge, we can't do that, but once we switch over,
Yeah.
then we'll have an opportunity to go in there and grind some
Will
of
they
that.
mill it? Yeah.
Yes, grind some of that bridge deck.
And on another note, on Highway 83, we did talk about it, that their roller was broken, or they was malfunctioning, so it literally washed boards. So you're gonna be able to fix that
Correct,
as well.
that is also on our radar. So we've reached out to the contractor on that as well.
All right. Any other questions? Very good. Motion to adjourn. Any opposed? Didn't think so.